Yay! Thursday, April 25th. We're looking at my advanced class. We're going to be talking about the end of gospel and our issues that happen from there, and so many things. Let's see, for those of you who are going the sermon. Let's see. For there, we had a test form. This is for a grade. You have to go on to the discussions. There's going to be a test form. You click there. Then you have to go through and reply. So we know that you know how to reply to these, because apparently some kids were lazy. And I had to find out the hard way, learning for next year. And then you're going to have to reply to the sermons. So 1, make sure your sermon's on there. That'll be one of the grades. And then 2, you have to have 3 different replies somewhere on there to different sermons or yours. I'm just looking for solid responses that I get to count from there. And then to help you out, to make it easier to navigate, because I know it gets really big and long on some of those, if you click the little button thing there, it collapses all of them up, and it makes it much easier to navigate. There's a little hint that I found to make my life easier. Then, now getting into gospel. So now's the part where your iPad's put away so the teacher wouldn't have to beat you with it. That would be awful. Come back to help. Things I want to talk about. 1, in your opinion, is Josh a good person? Now that we've gotten to the end, you've seen through his journey and stuff like that. Maul, why do you not like Josh?
I don't like him.
Why?
Because he...
Did you just say he blah? He what?
And he's like, nope, they're invading his personal life.
Hang on.
Like,
Zeto?
I don't think it's black and white. I think he's trying to be a good person, but he's just kind of like confused on how to get it.
I mean, part of it, once again, I know I've said this before, he's a teen, and teens make poor choices, and that part of it is, I mean, you guys try to make good choices all the time, fall right on your face, and so his just happened to be publicly for everyone to see. It's also why you see so many teen movie stars have issues and make like a big deal out of it, because every teen screws up. But when you're a teen and with Twitter and people are following you and you screw up, everyone sees your screw-ups, which makes it even worse. Owen?
Well, he ruined his dad's business and, like, hurt a lot of people in his...
He did. Once again, that comes to good intentions. But he didn't ruin it, but he definitely hurt it. And I will say on this, because now we get to talk more about the sequel, you get to find out in the second book that it continues on from there.
oh my gosh.
That, yeah, Peter leaves advertising and realizes that was not his path and goes a whole different direction. Yes, Lily, what does Peter end up doing?
Painting houses.
Yeah, and he ends up becoming a house painter.
Peter,
And
He's
he
really like hippie.
He is. He goes hippie and is much more chill. And it's one of those things where maybe you don't know what you need in life to wake you up, and this may have been the thing that Peter needed. And so he had to go through his rage moment, and he'd gone on a path, and maybe things needed to change. Emerton?
So, like, Josh is trying to be a good person, but, like, well, one, he's a teenager, and also, like, he's, like, trying to, like, do good to, like, what he thinks is the majority, but he still hurts so many other people, if that makes sense.
And unlike you guys, when you guys just try to do good and make your own life, he's trying to do good on, like, a global scale, which is that much tougher to do. Griff?
So, like, even with Gandhi, he tried his hardest to change the world for the better, but even as Gandhi's trying to, like, change the world, he still hurts people along the way, which is, like, you would call Gandhi a good person, and Josh is doing the exact same thing as Gandhi, and he's doing with good intentions, and most people don't even have good intentions in general, so I'm calling him a good person.
It goes along with that idiom, you can't make a cake without breaking some eggs. And so it's the idea that to make a good thing, yeah, but who likes omelets? Everyone likes a cake. So I got rid of the omelet one, and I went for the cake one. And so the idea that to make a cake, you've got to break eggs. So things have to break to make a good thing.
You can use Sprite.
I'm gonna make my cake with a whole
I mean, you can, but no one's going to eat your cake. Shark.
It would just be a giant lump
He,
of
like,
egg.
he had good intentions, but he didn't really plan hard. He didn't really plan
Think things out.
He didn't really think it out.
But-
like what happened if this happened. He was just kind of like.
But it
he's
also
trying to go
started
through-
as like
I'm
a
still talking.
I'm
Mr.
sorry.
Brovicast.
Go ahead. You're right. I apologize. No, actually, you were correct. I interrupted you.
No, you.
I was going to follow what you said. I thought it was a good point that he started with a small thing and it sort of grew from there. The idea of like you guys
He didn't
posting.
like look far. Like he didn't plan it out.
Yeah, I agree.
He was like too focused on like his. Are you laughing at me?
Yeah. You chastised me, but you were right in chastising me, so I'm not gonna knock you.
You were like, just like, no.
I know, and she should. I talked over her.
Lily's
so.
gonna be like a teacher.
She's-
Are you interrupting me?
Then let's go a different direction with your thoughts, and let's see this one.
No.
So hang on. Before we get to the yelling at me, by a show of hands, not yelling at me, kid who just wants me to yell at him. Go with, raise your hand if you say yes, deep down, I believe she was a good person and had good intentions. Alright? Then let's go with, deep down, no, she's awful and evil and should die in a hole. Alright? Now let's go with, why, express your thoughts from there. Trying to find people who have not talked yet to spread it around. Not kid who yelled at me and wasted that chance. Awful.
Okay, so I think she was trying to be a good person by letting everyone know who Larry was, because if you don't know who Larry is, like as like a teacher, a parent, or an adult, you're like, this could be like some creepy, like I don't know, like child, like kidnapper person, and so you don't know that, so you have to like be. So she was like, I think she was trying to do good, but in the same way, she was also invading his personal space, which was unfair.
So much like Josh tries to do good and messes things up. She tries to do good and kind of messes things up. I don't want to get yelled at again. Kemp!
Okay, so like, but it comes back to the same like where you said like you don't know who Josh is, so like she was trying to find out who Josh was so that she could help the people. But it's the same way with her. Because if you think about it, you don't know who Josh is, so he could be a teenager like he is, and it's crazy.
He could be a creepy old man.
It's just like, I hate myself for saying this, but like she was okay in the way in trying to find him, but the way she did it is just wrong, and she went about it very. You
disagree with the methods.
Yeah.
If you will. And in the sequel, when it continues on with his life, she plays a role in there too. And we find out more about her. You find out about how she was able to track him down. And so it gives you more of that background history, the stuff that pops up from there. Nate?
Beta Gold is pretty much like everyone else. She just tried to invade Josh's privacy. She just took it to an extreme. Far past what should be allowed by law. She pretty much stalked him.
I mean, most of the people online were trying to figure out who he was. She was just successful at it.
She was creepy.
Reynolds.
So I think she's bad.
So, Beta Gold, so Larry was anonymous, and yeah, that's kind of creepy and kind of not. Yeah, I get it from that perspective, but then she went anonymously to figure out who it was, and it was just kind of a hypocritical way of going about it, and kind of not.
Agreed. And really for her, she could have come out and said who she was, and it would not have changed. I mean, it would not have changed things. It's not like if she was like, I'm an old gray-haired grandma coming at you. He would have been like, no. I mean, that was not going to change anything. So, she didn't have to hide. But I think it was more that moral thing. You're hiding, so I'm hiding. But
the fact that she was trying to get him not to hide and angry about him hiding, and then her hiding,
people are messed up.
Bro, what if Josh
brain,
was some man with
her brain in 4 different places at the same time.
Humans.
Just one working out for her.
What if Josh was
Sharp.
Oh, I was gonna answer the other.
Yeah. I'm introducing new questions as we go along, but part of it also was, to go along with that, the sermons. Because for me, the reason why I like today is I like reading your guys' sermons. I think you guys have solid opinions. And so I like being able to go on that Canvas page and read your posts and read your comments. And so, same thing in here. He rants, but if you haven't picked up on it, Josh and I have very similar thought processes. And so the fact I like a lot of what he rants about, I've got a feeling he would like my lazy person rant, and I like many of his rants. But at the same time, it was, does that connect with you? Sharp?
Oh, never mind. You can go.
Okay. Yes, Susan.
In his sermon, he said that he was going to be wearing a t-shirt this month. So how did Beta Gold find him? There probably was lots of people with a t-shirt and a smile. Darn.
She doesn't find him that way. She has a son who's a computer technician. Yeah. And she actually tracks him down through, actual stuff.
What?
Really?
I mean, not every kid's going to read it. That's not a huge thing to give away, but it's in there.
Brovicast.
Sorry. It's, through
That's
John?
So, I agree that it's creepy, but at the same time, as what Abigail said, it could be some weird dude. And so I'm not saying it's fine what she did,
But at the same time, it could be a 5-year-old, it could be a 50-year-old. It's just like impossible, you know. So I think her finding that out was okay-ish.
Strong-ish. All right. I'll keep calling it. The thing they introduced also is the idea of if he came out with this thing today, if this was a website, or I'm guessing nowadays it'd be Twitter because this was pre-Twitter, do you think this would still generate the interest it did? One of the reasons why it got so big at the time was this was the beginning days of the internet. He was one of those first viral people that existed. For a long time, the internet was just, hey, look, there's a cat picture. Whee! And that was all you did. And the idea of following a person and going to these message boards and talking with each other was a new thing. He existed back during a time when you had to pay for the internet by the hour. And so that was a whole time where online gaming didn't exist. You had to go and pay like $5 for every hour you were online. And so you had to really limit it, which cut back on all of this. Millsaps?
I think that, like, I feel like with, like, it's like kind of like the same thing with, like, YouTube, where something will happen and everyone, like, freaks out for, like, a week, and then something new happens, and it's, like, it's always like that. Something will happen, everyone's on it for, like, a week, and then something new happens, like, ooh, drama. So it's kind of, I feel like it would be like that now.
So he'd be popular for a week, but not nearly
like the... Yeah, it wouldn't
not
be
the explode. I mean, it was a cultural phenomenon in the fact that would not...
a smaller group.
All right, I can dig that.
I interrupted.
No, don't go all sharp on me, I understand.
Lily.
Lucas,
Emberton?
Okay, so yeah, like to like sort of follow on what Jason said, people like would be interested, but like once it got boring and like it like was clear like, oh yeah, he's not going to expose himself anytime soon, they would probably like leave. And
So you don't think that mystery would keep it going? Would the mystery kill it or keep kids interested?
I think it would kill it because like we like want information and we just want it to just be given to us. And, yeah.
I'm not good at catching woes, but I am good at catching points from a standing kid who's not allowed to be distracting, who's now spent 12 points. But, you know, we're each our own thing that we're going to do. I did catch something, I guess. He does. I mean, Kim.
Okay, so I completely disagree.
Okay.
So I think that the mystery would keep it going because people, when there's something that's suspenseful, and they want to know, they're gonna keep going after it. And another reason I think it keep going is because there's so many issues that he could rant about today that weren't as prevalent.
Good word choice.
How they were in the 90s. Like, there are so many things that have occurred since then and that he could talk about that it would be relevant and that people would listen to.
I guess part of me worries with kids today, the topics he talks about, would kids even care about? Like, the things that he brings up, are those things that you guys are like, who cares, old person? Or is that things that people would respond to from there?
I think that's why it would be so important that he doesn't reveal who he is. Because they wouldn't know who's saying this. Like, it could be another seventh grader. You don't know.
Ka?
I feel like there'd be like more negative comments to it. Like,
More trolls?
yeah.
When he was around, there were definitely a lot fewer trolls. That was not as big of a thing. Whereas nowadays, there's almost like professional trolls who go online just to harass people. All right. DeLong, did she steal your troll comment?
No, I had another one that I don't want to say.
I got you. I was like, it was awful for her to troll you and take your comment like that. Anyway. I'm coming back to you.
No, it's that one question though.
That's fine. I'm just adding more things in there to our topics. Sharp.
Okay, so I'm not sure it would really even happen. Like, it would be that big of a thing because people would be like, people want to take credit for like the things they do, so they don't really want to be anonymous because like I did this, listen to me. So if it's like someone anonymous, they don't really care because it's not someone that they know about.
Which goes to my next thing now.
Oh wow!
The whole idea of nowadays, the idea of the internet cultural celebrity is huge. The idea of Larry revealing who he is, like that's the fact that there's so many people who seem to be famous today just for being famous. Like they haven't done anything. They're famous because they're famous. They're like, what'd you do to become famous? I got famous. And they're like, I don't understand how that works. But that seems to be like a thing that happens. And so it's the idea of would that still work today? DeLong? Still no? No, you keep teasing me. Weber?
I don't think Josh would get followers today.
Why?
Because he probably just looked like someone that wants attention at his age. So I feel like he'd get more hate than followers.
Would if he was the anonymous Larry, would it make a difference?
Probably not.
John?
I agree with Rick, but if it did explode, it would probably like get figured out who he was within like an hour because of today's
They'd track his
technology.
IP address.
Like, creepy hacker guys would be like, ooh, Josh Winston.
It is a lot tougher to stay anonymous today than it was back then because of the people who are much more technology savvy. DeLong? Killing me, John. Owen?
I feel like Josh just wouldn't really have as much of a platform to like, and like people that would understand and accept what he's saying these days as he did.
Because people don't care?
Yeah, 'cause people don't like care about.
So I don't even have to attack the youth. You're going to attack the youth today. So you're saying youth don't care.
Right.
Wow. All right.
Really important.
DeLong?
I think Josh could go viral today because it doesn't really matter what the content is or who it is. There's going to be someone that cares about it and can spread it. It's like Mr. Fossil got on BuzzFeed, so like anyone can.
It is that weird little niche. The kid that he taught eventually became a writer for BuzzFeed, and you remember that teacher that he had and made that connection. Yeah. Awful.
So I think that he could get followers, but the thing is, like, at some point we all kind of today's society gets mad sometimes when we get like criticism. We're all like, you said that to me. Like when he talks about like phonies, or he talks about we don't need to materialize them, they might actually take it offensively. So they'll be like, I'm not going to talk to you. I'm going to block you and tell my friends. They're not going to talk to you. They're going to block you because you're going against what I believe sometimes. So sometimes people take it a little offensively, so it might be harder for him to get followers because he speaks so openly about things.
Leroy?
But sometimes people might get famous because people don't like them. Because like they're spreading that they don't like them, and so everyone knows about them.
I'm assuming that happens now with basically famous trolls, those people who are not liked
Killer
online.
Keemstar.
No. Interesting.
Zeto.
Okay, so kind of what Madeline said.
Oh my god.
Never mind.
Yeah, she is.
Brovicast. I do not.
Tomorrow, test over the end, fun conversations. We'll keep going from there.
Over the whole book.
I'm just saying.
I know.